I think you were one of the first people I heard talk about AI agent.
Thanks.
Yeah,
This guy talking about nonsense.
exactly. Not only that, you just talk about it again and again. When you talk about it last year, 2024, I was in the front row and I remember you asked how many AI agent can actually work with you all at once. And it was like 100, just kind of like throw it out there. But even then, it wasn't as popular. And all of a sudden, now is
Now,
talking about AI agents. I see on the billboard
on the billboards, here
everywhere.
we go, the billboards again.
The billboards, I count them when driving through San Francisco as well.
Focus on the road, Serena.
You know,
Too many
it was like,
billboards. Become a
yeah,
buzzword, right?
it's like Google in search everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
a
like
category.
coming from like 2023 when nobody talked about it until you keep on like yapping about it. And now it's like, it's a common word. So how do you define AI agent and how do you even find this niche so early as well?
Thank you. So I'm going to yap about it because that's what we
Yes,
decided I do. Yes.
you,
And so
you
being
do.
consistent in your vision and continuing to be consistent in talking about it in the market is what I did.
Mhm.
When I was early on to Web 2 and I was yapping about the then and then the sharing economy, I yapped a lot about that. And so I've been consistently yapping and I'm often wrong and certainly annoying, but I will definitely yap about things I believe in. Let's define an AI agent. And so I have a background in market research, technology forecasting, and
Mhm.
I interview those that are actually doing it. So I don't really do anything other than yap and invest in startups. I talk to AI founders that are building agents. With
Okay.
AI agents, everybody on the globe can live like a billionaire with support staff using software, including at
Oh,
work, right? Like an EA. So that's a definition of an AI agent, and I gave you some examples.
I love it. AI agent, live like a billionaire.
Live like a billionaire, even if you're not rich.
Throw your hands up if you with it. Drop it.
Welcome to another episode of Explore Opportunities with AI. My name is Serena Yu, and I'm your host today. I'm super excited to invite our guest who has just not witnessed Silicon Valley's biggest revolutions, but he actually predicted them. Jeremiah Owyang. So Jeremiah Owyang is a true visionary Silicon Valley veteran, venture capitalist at Blitzscaling Ventures, and the founder of Llama Lounge, one of the biggest Bay Area's most influential AI startup events. So, as a Forrester industry analyst and founding partner at Altimeter Group, Jeremiah's career has always been about seeing what's next before everybody else does it. So he's predicted AI agents way before it was popular, and we'll go more into that later. But please welcome Jeremiah Owyang to the show.
Thank you, Serena. So good to be with you. I saw you a few days ago in San Francisco, but now I get to be on your show. I've been waiting for the invite. Thank you for having me.
See you next Thursday at Llama Lounge. Oh,
Can't wait to see you at Llama Lounge 19, hosted at SAP in Palo Alto. We're expecting hundreds of AI founders, VCs, and corporate AI leaders.
it'll be fantastic. I can't wait. I've heard a lot of buzz about it, and this is going to be my first time, so I'm really excited.
Yay, it's going to be a hit because you're showing up. Awesome.
Yes. Awesome, Jeremiah. So, starting from the dot-com era to today's AI boom, what made you convinced that AI was the biggest wave worth investing in?
I judge the focus and intensity of technology waves by the number of AI billboards on 101. That's the main
Oh, for
freeway
sure.
here. And I'm joking, of course, but it is true that around 75% of the billboards from San Francisco to San Jose are about AI. There's a few restaurants and lawyers peppered in, but most of it, it's about AI. Now, I think that says a lot about our nerdy culture here, right, Serena? But even
Yeah.
in the dot-com era, there wasn't this much targeted focus just on one technology movement. And I think the
Mhm.
difference with AI is anybody can adopt it. My mom can use it. A small business in Asia can use it. It's like instant results. Like there's not a lot to set up. The cost to get into it and trying it out is instant. And other technologies, we had to spend time proving that it would actually do anything. But thanks to cloud, mobile hardware, apps, and smartphones, it's easy to grab AI and use it off the shelf. And this has made it accessible for everyone. So that's kind of like
Definitely.
the thing that I saw.
Yeah, we're a long way from the first computer, but all of those technology kind of like leading up to these, right? We
Big
can
one.
definitely experience AI the way we experience it today.
For sure.
So, having witnessed many tech waves, how is this AI wave uniquely different in terms of speed and impact?
Okay. I think the best way to answer that is talking about the people that work on it. I've been here for 27 years in Silicon Valley. I was at Exodus Communications, the web host for .coms. Many became .bombs. The way people bragged was valuation and revenues in Web 1 and Web 2. You bragged about how many employees you had. Now, in Web 2, you would brag about also how many users you had. But something changed in the sharing economy wave. You wouldn't brag about how many employees you had. You would brag about how many independent contractors you had. For example, how
Yeah.
many Uber drivers are on our network? How many Lyft drivers are on our network? How many Airbnb hosts? How many people are crowdfunding? So you were thinking about a contingent workforce. Now it's different with AI. People are not bragging how many employees they have. They brag how few employees they have. And they brag about how many AI agents can actually do the job that humans used to do. And there's a leaderboard run by Henry. It's called the AI Lean Native Leaderboard. And it shows companies, there's around 40 of them, that are under 5 years old and they're generating over $5 million of revenue and they have under 50 employees. This is a big change, right? And these companies, so the average company is around 3 years old, has 20 humans, and they have hundreds of AI agents, and they're generating significant revenue. Now, just to set kind of a way to think about it, a traditional SaaS company, a tech company, is doing around 200,000 US dollars revenue per employee, 200K. The top SaaS companies, like think Salesforce, Adobe, HubSpot, they're probably around $1 million revenue per employee.
Wow.
Now, these top AI startups, again, they only have 20 employees, 3 years old. They're doing, some of them are doing 3 million revenue per employee. So think about that. 200K average revenue per employee versus a top performing AI native startup is doing 3 million, 200 to 3 million. That's with few employees. Like that is mind blowing. And that talks about the size, the speed, the agility of these companies.
So speed and impact.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you were one of the first people I heard talk about AI agent in
Thanks.
2023. I attended one of AI 5 events. You were a speaker. And to
Steven
be
Atkins,
honest, yeah.
we love Steven.
Yes, we do. That's how I get to know you because you do
Thanks.
speak at his events often. And
We have to thank Steven for introducing us. Thank you, Steven.
thank you, Steven. I remember when you was like AI agents, first time I heard about it, I was like, what is this? Yeah.
This guy talking about nonsense.
Exactly. Not only that, you talk about it again and again. I hear you talk about it last year, 2024. I was in the front row and I remember you asked me like, how many AI agent can actually work, with you all at once? And it was like 100, just kind of like throw it out there. But even then, it wasn't as popular. And all of a sudden, now is talking about AI agents. I see on the billboard.
On the billboards. Here we go, the billboards again.
The billboards, I count them when driving through San Francisco as well.
Focus on the road, Serena. Too many
It was like
billboards.
Piper, #1 AI agent.
I know.
SDR AI agent.
It's become a buzzword, right?
It's like Google in search everywhere.
Yeah,
It's just
it's a category.
coming from like 2023 where nobody talked about it until you keep on like yapping about it. And now it's like, it's a common word. So how do you define AI agent and how do you even find this niche so early as well?
Thank you. So I'm going to yap about it because that's what we
Yes.
decided I do. Yes.
You,
And so
you
being
do.
consistent in your vision and continuing to be consistent in talking about it in the market is what I do.
Mhm.
I was early on to Web 2 and I was yapping about the then and in the sharing economy. I yapped a lot about that. And so I've just like been consistently yapping and I'm often wrong and certainly annoying, but I will definitely yap about things I believe in. Let's define an AI agent. And so I have a background in market research, technology forecasting, and
Mhm.
thanks for talking about my bio before. And the
Yeah.
thing that I want to do now is I interview those that are actually doing it. So I don't really do anything other than yap. So and invest in startups. I talk to AI founders that are building agents. And so the definition of an AI agent is it's software that can
Mhm.
sense the world around it or inside of an app can sense what's happening in apps and data. And then it can determine what decisions to make. And by the way, it determines those tasks because it calls on a large language model to determine the tasks. Then it
Mhm.
actually executes the tasks. That's what large language models cannot do,
Mhm.
right? So it can actually go into an app and can add complete forms and fields or click on things or code and do things, right? And then actually submit it or actually control robotics. An agent can control robotics, right? The self-driving car is an agent. And
Yeah.
an AI agent will improve and learn over time.
Mhm.
The advanced agents can summon additional agents, like a swarm, agent swarm, or you've also heard of agent crews. Those are examples.
Mhm.
So an AI agent is like a junior worker that can
Yeah.
think, sense the world around you, and actually complete tasks autonomously. Let me give you some examples. So
Mhm.
I've been testing out an agent called RUBE made by Composio. I tell it to connect to my Gmail, Google Drive, and find out my latest messages and sort it. And it goes and does that for me. That exists, and I do it all within the Claude interface. It's
Mhm.
embedded into the existing apps I want.
That's so
Claude, go
useful.
to my Gmail, find my unread messages, find the important messages from Serena, make sure
Mhm.
I see and reply. Well, imagine that. Then an agent could determine meals for the week, ensuring your DoorDash is getting the right foods
Mhm.
or ordering your Uber Eats in advance so your meals arrive on time, right? You don't have to think about it at that moment. So it could determine what do you want. Could look through your credit card history and says, Serena loves Vietnamese food. We better have the good Vietnamese food on Friday
Right.
night. And actually brings it
Mhm.
to you and it's there on your doorstep before you even need it. Right? Those are ways that AI agents can do those things, right? That's what I see.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Yes. Think about everybody. I don't have a personal assistant, driver, dietitian. I'm not a billionaire. But
Yeah.
with AI agents, everybody on the globe can live like a billionaire with support staff using software, including at
Oh,
work, right? Like an EA. So that's a definition of an AI agent. And I gave you some examples.
I love it. AI agent live like a billionaire.
Live like a billionaire, even if you're not rich.
That's funny. What kind of percentage do you think people are adopting them into like finding groceries, helping to improve their daily life with chores, and all the things that we
Adoption,
do often?
I think I've seen some stats a few months ago that LLM adoption, like GPT, is still under 50%. So AI agents would be a very tiny proportion of that, very
Mm.
small, single digit percents. It's very tiny right now. But you can see on the billboards in 101, the traditional tech companies are integrating agents into all they do. So we'll start to see those emerge in enterprise software and then consumer software.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're still at the early days. But
Yeah.
my job as a VC is to find these startups before they become important and
Right.
invest in them early. So
Mhm.
that's why I put out the messages and I hosted quite a few events just for the agent market.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
I was a
You're
judge at
you're
many
like,
agent hackathons, right? So and I was at an agent
yeah.
event in SF last night. Like I just show
Oh,
up over
wow.
and over
Mhm.
to make sure like, I know what's happening, which founders are doing what, then to
Right.
invest in them and help them.
That's interesting. So what do you see so far? Do you see like common pitfall or do you see something that
You want to talk about some problems with the space?
yeah, we
Sure, we can do that. There was a report from MIT about 2 weeks ago that said that 95% of
can
enterprise AI projects in big companies failed.
heard that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Headline. If once you read the whole thing, and I did, and then of course I uploaded it into GPT and I had a chat with the document.
Yeah,
So
deep dive.
we did a deep dive with AI to talk about AI. There was a number of things I want to point out. There's a criticism that the methodology of the report wasn't satisfactory. You can read other people's criticisms, and there's something to be considered there. But there's also obviously going to be nuggets of truth. And one of the things the report found was that individual workers were adopting large language models like Claude, Gemini, or GPT. It's called shadow IT. And those employees did see a positive return on using AI.
Definitely.
The criticism of the findings of the report, again, questions on the methodology, was that the enterprise projects like the marketing AI suite, customer care marketing suite, or finance marketing project program was not working. So those were the general criticisms that the report found. It's hard for me to question and comment that, but it said one of the findings were that the AI agents or the large language models lacked memory. It would start a task and forget what it's working on.
Right.
There was a missing context, especially when you're dealing with customers and you have a chat bot, whether it's text or voice or maybe a video. It's talking to you, and then you ask it another question and it says, "Hey, how are you doing? Welcome back. How can I help you today?" Wouldn't that
Yeah.
drive you crazy? So
Yeah.
making sure these AI systems have continual memory is
Memory.
that is something that the report found. And I think there's probably some truth to that.
I can foresee your yapping about memory.
The report talked about the adoption of like just the human workflow, and humans were resistant to using AI because they were worried it's going to learn their job and take it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you see the news from Mark Benioff a few days ago about the
No.
layoffs? Oh,
No.
Mark Benioff said he laid off 45%, which is 4,000 of the customer care department at Salesforce. So the customer care department has gone from 9,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, I the
Yeah.
headline. Yeah.
And he said they're going to use AI agents to complete customer care tasks. That was a wake up call for every company. As you know, Dreamforce in San Francisco is next month. So he's going to be yapping about that.
Right. Wow. I think because I'm in the agency space as well. So when I started up my social media marketing agency, I actually have a lot of VA and contractors. And
Drivers, CrowdSpring 99 Designs, virtual assistants.
right. So that was how I ran the business before. And I just feel like now I can do it on my own. So I used to have copywriter, content creator, all of that. But now with ChatGPT,
20 bucks.
$20 a month, and I feel like it was effective the way I write how I want and I have my own memory instead of before I would have to spend those time to kind of like make sure that a VA is doing their job correctly. And we have to do a lot of iteration.
Sure.
But now I can do 3 weeks of posts probably in 2 hours if I wanted to with ChatGPT. And it
200 bucks
instantly.
a month down to $20 a month.
So it was even for me as a small scale agency owner, I already see that, big organization like Salesforce and how they have the power and resources to train their own AI agent. No doubt about it. It's hard for me to scale for my small business because I don't have the proper resources for
Exactly.
me to scale in the bigger space. But, for them, they
Right.
do. So
That's a big change, right? A solopreneur can be a small business. A small business can be a medium business. And a medium business can be an enterprise. Everybody gets to scale up with AI.
Yeah. And I also heard from you the first time is a solo
Preneur.
entrepreneur,
Yeah.
solopreneur could be $1 trillion company because of
Billion.
AI.
Billion. Yeah, I don't know about trillion. Billion, yes. Realistically, I think it'll be a 3-person company.
Yeah.
Probably not one. And when we talked about those companies on the Lean AI startup leaderboard, like some of them are headed that way. For example, let me look at the valuation of these companies. I'm on the leaderboard now. Take Midjourney.
Right.
Wow. The valuation is 10 billion and only 40 employees. That valuation per employee.
Yeah.
Valuation per employee It's not spread evenly, but it would be 250 billion.
dollars.
Yeah, sorry, 250
250
million
million
per employee.
per.
So that's a quarter of the way. Could we see a smaller company merge worth $1 billion? Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, like at this point, if they cut down to 10 employees, then they are.
Yeah, but why? I mean, the employees, yes, they're paid a lot, right? Like 500K to $1 million. Like you're paid very well. But if you are generating that amount of revenue, then you should hire the best.
Yeah.
You don't want the service to break. So they don't need to cut more employees. 40 is pretty lean.
Very lean. It's like a small startup, right?
It's a tiny startup. That's like a seed stage startup generating significant revenue. Average revenue of Midjourney is 500 million per year with 40 people.
40 people.
That's insane, right?
Yeah.
That's $12 million revenue per employee. The industry standard is 200K.
200K.
So they're doing 12 million per employee. It's like, wow.
They would probably keep the same amount of employees, but increase revenue.
Probably because they're the AI first companies, right? So they use AI before hiring humans.
Yeah. So at your recent keynote at STEP conference last week, so you asked founders how long the technical moat lasts, and most said months.
Months.
Why do you think this moat is shrinking so fast?
It goes back to the speed of this. It's really about speed. And AI is able to learn at an exponential rate, and you can apply cloud services, and you see this happening. They're launching products and features fast. The big change is the technical moat could last years because you'd have some unique IP and nobody else could copy it. And now with AI, the cost to generating code is instant. Seconds versus months or quarters. If you see a feature, then you can get out a MVP version of it or proof of concept version out using vibe coding. It's not production ready. They have to rebuild it, but it's happening at such a rapid pace that the technical moat is shrinking in duration. And even one tweet from Sam Altman or Elon
or Trump,
Google could disrupt a whole category of software startups. So it is just such a fast moving pace. You have to move so fast. So I was one of the founders we invested yesterday, Karan from Composio. And he was showing me how fast they're building new features, how they launched it in 3 weeks and they already have market feedback and there's thousands of users joining on. And I was like, my God, you guys, first of all, you're brilliant, but you're moving so effing fast.
Yeah.
And he looked me right in the eye and he says, we have to. Like, there's no choice. They have to move fast. It's amazing at the speed of everything.
This feels like a blood battle.
The thing, though, is there's a really short period of time right now in history. There's only a few years where we're going to figure out the winner, and then the winners are going to move so much further past everybody else. Nobody else will catch them. And we literally have until like 2027 until like the market's kind of settled. There's not much time. It's a very short period of time. So my job as a seed stage investor is to find these young startups. They're just like 5 to 15 people and invest in them as soon as possible. If I think they're going to win, I'm doing my best. We'll find out if I was right. I work with a great team that helps to guide me.
You also have eyes and ears everywhere. You yourself.
Yeah, I attend 3 AI events per week, minimum. I lead an event series that's several times per month, and that brings in a lot of people, and I can see the data. And then I'm on calls constantly. Before our session, I was talking to a founder in Belgium about his robotics software, constantly getting input to find out what's going on.
You also have your own startup event, Llama Lounge, right?
Llama Lounge.
How's it grow into a thriving community?
Yeah, Llama Lounge is 1.5 years old. Started it in early 2023, and I saw the market was forming. GPT 3.5 was just a few months old. And I could see there was a few dozen events in San Francisco around AI. And it's like, oh, shoot, I'm late to the trend. I'm late. And now there's 200 AI events per month.
Oh,
So I launched the event at a pizza place called Sunset Squares. Thank you, David, for hosting it. We gathered as a meetup and people started to open their laptops and demo. I said, you know what? That's a great idea. The next Llama Lounge, y'all have to fill out this form. It's the same URL, by the way, and apply to demo. I would choose people, brought a little stand, and I had some awesome volunteers that we'd like write on the names and let them demo. It turned into 10 companies and grew. Some corporates wanted to host. And so now Llama Lounge, so that was like 100 people. And Llama Lounge now, so the approval list for the event next week is 800 people are approved. I think 400 will show at the event, and it's usually 50 to 60% are AI founders, CEOs. The title is CEO and co-founder. That's the primary group. And then we should have around 200 to 300 investors. That's a very high ratio of founder to investor. I list all the investors on the Lua page. You can see it. It's almost 80. And sometimes there's multiple investors coming from each firm, right? I make it clear who's coming. We have corporate executives from Fortune 500 car companies, tech companies, banks, who lead AI programs that want to partner with AI startups. So it's an ecosystem event. That's really important. So to bring the whole ecosystem, and then we have VIPs like you. So, so that's how Llama Lounge has grown. Llama Lounge 19 is next week. And it's been hosted at Zoom headquarters, AWS, Capgemini. This one will be at SAP. So I'm going over to visit a giant tech company for lunch today to see if they'll do it. And we're partnered with TechCrunch Disrupt. You know, it's been featured and talked about in like numerous media. So it is one of the longest running, most vibrant AI startup events. I'm honored to help lead the ecosystem. I don't fully benefit, right? Because I'm bringing in my competitors, investors. I want everybody to win. Who attend.
Oh, you're amazing.
If you bring together the ecosystem, everybody wins. Then you'll get dragged along, have fun, and maybe win too.
Why do you think San Francisco is the center of AI innovation?
Ooh.
Because there's 200 events?
Yeah. Often AI startups focus on serving their one region. Like I'm the Middle East Uber or the Airbnb for Singapore. They don't think global. In Silicon Valley, you have to scale. The investors expect you go global. Right?
Gotcha.
It's the expectation that it's just like must go global in scale. So the startups focus on like network effects, like how can you grow this and make sure that your product has viral effects. Those are the two things that I'm looking for, which are core to the blitzscaling thesis per Reid Hoffman and Chris Ye, the founding partner of the firm, which I joined. And those are critical. Obviously, we have an amazing institutions in the education space. In particular, Stanford and Cal are producing fantastic business leaders and technology leaders. And that helps things as well. And then VCs are here, so the funding. So one VC ran the numbers, Signalfire. Josh Constein said this on stage this week, that over 50% of all venture funding is in San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, wow.
The other 50% is spread around the world. If you're a founder, where are you going to get funding? Some Silicon Valley VCs will not fund a founder unless they are relocating to Silicon Valley. Like there's numerous VCs that you are required as a founder to set up a base. That's not one of our requirements. Little note of requirement getting out in the market, the talent will relocate here. And it continues to compound. The network effect, just in Silicon Valley and the events and the collisions, you know, it just forces that.
So what is your requirement?
Our requirements? Yeah. So again, we're looking for those network effects in the business model. We're looking for the viral effects. Does the product spread on its own? Those are the two key things. Since I'm an early stage investor, we are really looking at the founder, him or her, to see, can they innovate? Can they move fast? We have a number of things that we look for that I can't talk too much about. And every VC has their own secret special criteria. Definitely. And then in the AI space, I'm looking for, do you have proprietary data or do you have something that will give you some security that other people don't have, considering technical moats are short? If you notice, the focus wasn't on technology. The focus is on the business strategy, founder, and the data. In the age of vibe coding, you can build any feature fast.
If you have your criteria, but if it doesn't meet now, but you know how founders, they have to iterate, can iterate. Will you like pass them on to one, but will you have that tendency to like, okay, let me hear your pitch again? Do you do that?
Oh, there's
Get
many
feedback?
signals and no one path. Yesterday, I went to the AI Agent Builders event at the Hibernia Bank on Market in Tenderloin, and there was 30 startups on the demo floor. I knew half of them. They
Right.
they demoed at Llama Lounge. I've met them on briefings or invited them to demo recently.
Right.
So I've been watching and understanding, and then I talk to other VCs and I see which VC backed which one. That's a signal. I watch how the company's growing. Are they getting traction, product market fit? Some don't want me involved in their company. They want certain types of investors, or find that I yap too much and it's like, he yaps too much. Don't want him on board. He's always looking at billboards. So it just depends, like, is there a fit as well? Because I spend a lot of time with them, like an advisor.
What mindset shift do you think AI founders need to succeed in this landscape?
AI founders are already AI natives. They use AI before hiring humans. It's normal. Certain roles they still have to hire for, like sales or DevRel or like those roles, you still need humans. The one thing they need to adapt, and many of them are not doing this, is to get a business strategy that can help them when there's no technical or low technical moats. And many are creating SaaS software, selling monthly subscriptions to big companies, and it's selling to one department, but the product does not spread from company to company or department to department. So in order to grow their business, they have to send salespeople, humans. That is a slow, long burn of a business. So instead, they should build product-led growth, where the product spreads from department inside of a department, and then it spreads department to department, then it spreads company to company with no or few salespeople, low marketing, low advertising. So if a product can do that, then you're more likely to scale. Now, if you don't do that and you instead have to hire salespeople to go into each department and sell,
Right. So
your
that is
competitor, it's obviously costly and slow, but your competitor will build a product that has product-led growth and they will go around you and win the market. Then you are in trouble. Founders need to think about how to make their product spread, hold value, and increase value. That's a network effect.
I love that. I'm learning. If they need to get into this area, what do you
Yeah.
think are the practical steps that can get them into speed and also get into this AI ecosystem?
So most of these, if you look at the lean AI native startup board, I think I ran the numbers, 2/3 of them live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Those in the Bay Area are more likely to succeed, unless your product is for like a specific market. Like, for example, I'm just focused on government, then maybe you should live in DC, or I'm focused on entertainment, then maybe you should live in LA, right? And that makes a lot of sense. Or if I'm trying to do this just for Germans, then obviously you should probably live in Germany. But if you're building a tool that's selling to developers, then you should be in San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
That will help with speed.
Awesome. You were ahead of the curve in 2017. You shared on LinkedIn
Oh yeah,
your TED Talk in Frankfurt,
true.
and you yapping,
Yeah, everybody already knows that.
predicting AI agent self-driving car.
Mhm.
Can you tell me what it felt like after that 3 minutes? I can't imagine 2017. You're talking about what is almost happening, or even now, not all the thing that you predicted happening yet.
So I didn't call it AI agents. At the time,
Yeah.
I called it a distributed autonomous organization, which the Web3 community also uses. They're all similar concepts.
That's the definition of AI agent.
The TED Talk was sponsored by BMW, and so everything was car themed for that event, and I was
Really?
selected
Oh.
to speak. And it was at the Frankfurt Auto Show. And so my speech was, what happens when cars become, quote, alive? And it means when cars become agentic, sense the world, plot a path, pick up passengers, generate revenue. You and I see this every minute in SF.
Mhm.
Yesterday, I was in
Yes.
in the Uber, and there was 4 Waymos in front of us. I was like, "Oh my god." They're spreading around the Bay Area and other places. The Zoox vans are around, right? The shuttles. It's happening.
Mhm.
Now, in this speech that I had, and the executives at these car companies, you should have seen their jaws drop when I talked about this
Yeah, I
concept.
wanna know.
I saw jaws actually go like, uh, I physically saw that because my thesis was, we'll eventually see a car that may not be owned by a human, but it generates revenue on its own. And then it can improve itself. It can go get new upholstery, or it can get the software updated. It can pay for its own tires to get changed. It can
Yes.
improve itself because it's generating revenue, and it goes and gets maintained at night, and during the day it's running errands or delivering packages. Like, it's working like an entity. And I said, imagine in the future when it starts to reach its total capacity. It's driving 23 hours a day, 1 hour
Yeah.
maintenance. Then it buys another self-driving car. So,
Mhm.
like a form of reproduction. And then that fleet grows on its own. Could you imagine this future state where it may not even be owned by a human, just
Yeah.
operating on its own? And I use the
Okay.
example that Bitcoin, we don't really know who created it, and it
Mm.
operates on decentralized across different places. Could that merge with an AI agent in the hardware space?
Mhm.
I think
Mm.
we're a few years away from seeing autonomous
Mhm.
organizations emerge. It'll start with software, where humans might hire it to complete tasks, but we don't know, was it created by a human? And it generates
Mhm.
revenue on its own, maybe paid through stable coins or something like that. So
Mhm.
that's the theory and thesis that I have, that we will eventually see an autonomous organization not run by humans. And they're probably not going to need VC funding, right? So it's not great even for me. Or maybe they will. I don't know for sure. But that's kind of this future I see.
That is crazy. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I just watched Transformer. That be the world for the future. What do you think? What's after AI agent?
Oh, the future, I think that AI agents and the robotic space are going to combine. So, we already talked quite a bit about self-driving cars, but what about other robots, like the dog robot, or a
Right.
humanoid robot, or flying drones using agentic software to think and make decisions? We'll see opportunities in that market. I'm looking for startups to invest in.
So do you feel like that's the future into robotic
It's one of the
hardware?
futures. Yeah, it's definitely one of the key things that's happening in tech. The humanoid robots will be walking among us in about 7 years. We saw a few of them at the STEP conference.
Mhm.
Factories will become dark factories run by robots, not humans. Self-driving cars become more prolific in San Francisco, and the world becomes more autonomous. So that is the future.
Oh, that is beautiful. I can't wait to hear more.
Thank you for
Um,
having me, Serene.
how can people find you?
Oh, sure. I guess on LinkedIn, you can give me a connection there. I also have a blog and a newsletter. If you're a founder, apply for Llama Lounge. Demo slots available.
Thank you so much for sharing all
Thank
this
you.
incredible insights. Well, I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.